Welcome to this Equestrian Vaulting USA video series designed to inspire and educate our vaulting community on the one-star compulsories. This video is about the swing backward with the legs open. First, we will outline the essence and mechanics of the swing backward with the legs open, followed by a more in-depth explanation of how to train and coach this compulsory. We will finish with guidance and tips from our kind judges. This video is made possible by the donations from the generous members of Equestrian Vaulting USA. Thank you. The essence and mechanics. The essence of all compulsories is harmony with the horse. The additional essences that are specific to the swing backwards are quality of movement, body control, and posture. The swing backward with legs closed, followed by dismount to the inside, is a dynamic exercises and comprises 5 biomechanical phases. First is the energy phase, which starts from upright seat backward. Second is the swing and stem phase, which starts when the body loses contact with the horse and the hands are the only point of contact. Third is the lowering phase, which starts after the point of maximum elevation. Fourth is the landing phase, which starts when touching the horse with a leg. Fifth is the dismount to the inside, which starts in seat backward and ends with landing on the ground.
Hi, I'm Bianca Harris.
And I'm Allie DeVita.
And we're going to be going over some strengthening and mobility work as well as some drills on the barrel for our backward swings. So one of the first things that we're going to be going through is a bug catcher drill, which we're going to be starting on the ground. And that's going to be a partner drill either with a coach or with another vaulter. So I'll have Allie get down on our mat and set up in a backward swing-like position with her arms and then give her partner her legs. And what she's going to be doing is starting back and then swinging her hips up, opening up her hips and her chest, and then coming back down. And here we're working on getting the hip extension and the shoulder extension with momentum, but with the support in our feet from a partner so that we don't have to do it all body weight as we're learning the technique.
And if you're wondering why it's called a bug catcher, keep your mouth closed when you do this drill.
The next drill we're going to be doing is for both strength and mobility, and it's going to be a backwards plank with our feet supported on a yoga ball. We're going to start with a more difficult version, and then if your vaulter needs a little bit more help with balance or coordinating their mobility with the motion, we'll put it in a support like what we have right here. So we're going to start with the ball free, and let's see, I'll start it. So you start with the ball free. You can use handles or not, depending on the height of the yoga ball and of the vaulter. You're going to go feet on your yoga ball, practicing pushing up your shoulders and your hips as high as you can. Your chin is staying nice and neutral so that you're not letting it drop back or down towards your chest. You want to be looking up towards the sky and then resting back down, especially if you feel like your shoulders are collapsing in or you're losing the strength in your arms as you go. And again, if it gets a little bit shaky or it's too unstable, or if you don't have a partner, you can go ahead and support the yoga ball so that it's not going to run away from you while you're going through your drill. One really important thing when you're training the mobility and the strength for backward swings is to make sure that you're not sacrificing the mobility of your chest just to train your triceps. So if you're in any kind of backward swing or tricep strengthening position, you want to make sure that your chest is open the entire time, even as you dip, and that you're not letting this happen, because then we're going into our shoulder joint instead of the muscles in our back and our arms that are going to support us through our swing. What I mean by what we're trying to avoid is we're trying to avoid the muscles in our chest pulling our shoulders in closer together. We want to think about the muscles in our back pulling our shoulders apart. So when you're up in your supported position, thinking about pushing the handles away and squeezing between your shoulder blades rather than collapsing through the arms and through the back. You want to think about closing the space in your shoulder blades and opening your chest, not the other way around. The next drill we're going to be going over is on the barrel, and it's going to be working to and from a candlestick in our backward swing position to work on control and strength. So you'll start setting up like a backward swing, and then you're going to land in a candlestick position. So you'll prep, swing up, and then once your vaulter's in their candlestick, they're also going to work on coming down. So pop off of that foot and coming down with control. The key in this drill is to focus on weighting over the handles so that you've got a lot of strength happening in your triceps and you're not pushing away from the handles here. You want to be thinking about leaning back so that as you come down, you've got nice control through your arms. Another drill that will progress from the barrel to the walk and then even to the canter or the trot is going to be one that we're working on our relationship to going back on the neck. So you'll start sitting backwards. You want to think about strings pulling your elbows behind you, and then you're going to be leaning back all the way onto the neck and up back to a backward seat. What this helps us to learn is the trust in going backwards, and it also gives us an opportunity to work on our chin position because we have to think about keeping our back nice and flat and looking up at the sky as we go back. So again, you start in your backward swing position, elbows pull behind you, and then we're rocking back and coming both up and down with control throughout the movement. What we want to emphasize in our elbows here is that they're active in pulling us back. So we start in a straight position and then we're pulling back onto the neck. That way we're practicing for when we're going into our full backward swing, the level of engagement we have to have over the handles to power through our arms as we push up. So you're going from straight to bent, but not keeping them straight the entire time. So now we're going to talk about some progressions on our candlestick drill. So if your vaulter's super strong in their candlestick, what they can move up to is a flying squirrel and or a swing to plank. So a flying squirrel is going to be aiming for a plank position, but it's okay if they don't make it all the way there. They go into their arc tension, swinging up and back down. If they land in a plank, what they're going to be doing is focusing on squeezing through their hips and shooting out towards the back of the barrel. So they go through their arc tension and land in a plank. And the final progression, especially if you have a vaulter that's working on scissors and needs to turn, is they're going to be swinging up to a plank with one leg, and this can eventually help them learn how to turn as well. One of the things you can really focus on as a coach with all of these drills comes back to that layback drill on the neck. So you will always want to do that as a warm-up for any of these drills so that you can really emphasize that activity in the arms so that your vaulter stays over towards the neck side of the horse or of the barrel. For example, if I were to try to swing to plank and I stay too far out here, I'm also going to dump into that closed position through my chest, and I lose a lot of the strength that I could have in my arms and in my back. So you always want to be thinking about elbow tips pulling towards the neck and shoulders staying over the surcingle or on the neck side of the horse, but not tipping back towards the tail.
Another great exercise you can do with a yoga ball, as shown here, is starting with your hips on top of the center of the ball and then working on the core strength required to lift as well as lower the legs into and out of this position. The following is a series of progressions that your vaulters can do on the horse, starting with this progression at the walk, as we showed on the barrel, working on keeping the elbows bent and getting the shoulders up and over the surcingle towards the neck. Another great drill is after your vaulter has demonstrated they can swing to this candlestick position on the barrel. If they can do so softly, you can do this exercise at the walk or even at the trot. Next up is, in progression from there, swinging to our plank pose. And once your vaulter is able to demonstrate that they can swing to the plank pose with 2 feet landing, they can progress to landing on a single leg. Next, we will show you a series of drills at the canter. This exercise is a great challenge for the core. Although Bianca might make it look easy, it's a very challenging drill focusing on holding this arc tension position at the canter. Next, you can do the progression of swinging to candlestick at the canter. And from there, after the candlestick, the vaulter can swing to plank. And a very advanced drill is performing this exercise at the canter going onto the neck.
For backward swings, we want to focus on not only our triceps, but also our lats. So the 2 exercises we're going to be focusing on here are a cable tricep push down and a lat pull down. These muscle groups are going to be what support us through our backward swings as we push and get our hips up high.
Hi, my name is Alejandra Orozco. I'm an AVA judge as well as a Mexican judge and an international judge. I'm going to give you a few tips or comments on what we normally see as judges when we see each compulsory in a competition. For backwards clicks, so I think one of the main things we see in this one is we are trying to get our legs up higher, and having our shoulders open is a requirement for the backwards click, right? So we need to be able to put weight on your hand while in such a weird position as a backward click is. So just making sure that you know how to do that position and put weight on your hands while your shoulders are open. A lot of countries in the lower levels have a swing to plank in order to teach this, right? So it allows you to find that position of open shoulders and hips up before you actually have to do the backwards click itself. Also, remember the dismount is part of your backwards click score, so make sure you keep up that performance and you don't stop vaulting after your backwards click. So make sure you perform all through the end.
Hi everyone, I'm Bianca Harris. I'm a senior two-star vaulter, certified personal trainer, and well on my way to also being a certified strength and conditioning specialist.